set up, but I figured I would just kind of set this up for now, just so I can get ready. You can watch the rain, listen to what's going on here. Still getting set up here. Typical for me. Start alive, not even ready. Oh God, dude. Oh, why do I bother with this? Alright, let's see. Trying to set up a place for my thing here. This thing. The tablet. It's got fingerprints all over it. Alright. Got that there. Gotta plug it in. I can't see comments, nothing if anybody's commenting. Can't see anything until I set this up. Alright. Let's see. And then, whoop. Go to that. No. Back out. See, I'm doing that thing again where I'm trying to figure out where my own stuff is. Go to me. Hey, there we go. Wow. All right. So anyways, all this is, look at that, we got advertisements going. Skip that. Turn down the volume here. So anyways, all this is it's rainy day repairs. I've just been out here, like, not all morning, but a significant part of the morning, just quietly, happily, calmly, just working on my stuff. Because sometimes that's what you need to do. Sometimes you need, like, I guess, what do people call it now? Therapy. This is a form of therapy. Working on my truck, working on my cars. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, what do they call it? That's Gen X therapy. We don't need to see nobody, because nobody can help us with our problems except ourselves, because we create them. But anyways, so this vehicle that I'm working on right here, you can see it right here. This is the Losi TENACITY laser nut. I am essentially going through this entire thing. And right now, what we're focusing on is this right here, which is checking out the motor, checking the conditions of the bearings, getting into the center diff, and just cleaning out something that I thoroughly abused. And, like typical, broke stuff and didn't realize things were broken, and here we are. And that's how it goes, man. That's point blank how it goes for me. somebody brought up, it was a comment somebody made that, believe it or not, really made a certain amount of sense. That, Paul, what's going on, guy? See, I can see the comments rolling in. So we got Paul, we got Axelrod, what's going on, guy? Lorne, what's going on, man? Bob's RC, what's going on, guy? Afternoon, UK time. So again, sometimes you have this like thing of apologizing for things that you can't control. So I'm sorry I'm coughing. I'm sorry if a plane goes by. I'm sorry if there's a Jake break in the background. I'm sorry about the rain. I'm sorry about the lightning and the thunder. Actually, I ain't sorry about any of it, dude. This is just regular life. So anyways, but a lot of people do that. Oh, I'm so sorry about the wind noise. It's like, well, if you're so sorry about it, do something about it. Well, I can't do anything about this, so. But anyways, there was a piece broken, this thing. Should I have the camera over here? Because if I have the camera over here, the comments are on the opposite side. Is that going to mess with things? I can tell you right now, this phone, okay, it's got positives and negatives to it, okay? But as far as owning phones since 1996, okay, 1996, dude, it puts a date on me. So I've had a cell phone since 1996, and I think I was, I guess, late to the game or whatever. And I've had my phone number since 1996. So you can imagine the spam crap that I get. But anyways, where was I going with that? Oh, having a variety of phones for as long as I have, this one is the absolute worst piece of garbage phone that is supposed to be, when I got it, it was supposed to be their top of the line flagship. This is everything that they put into this thing. This thing is an absolute piece of crap, dude. I mean, granted, could I make something any better? Yeah. A piece of string with a couple of cans is about what I could make that would be better than this thing. But anyways, this is a Google Pixel 8 Pro. There's so many things about this thing, like even like looking at it right now, there's something about it. It's just total waste of money, dude. Total waste of money. But anyways, came across this piece that was broken. Kind of didn't matter because the pin never fell out. And it's because of the way... So, I already put this all back together. Let me show you. I'm going to spin the camera around so I can show you something that I thought was kind of, I don't know, either unique or cool or whatever. And then there's a couple of things that I've done. You gotta wait for a second. I just lost a washer. And the axle fell out. Because it's not fully together yet, because it's not in the chassis. Once it's in the chassis, it'll be fine. But once I get this together, I gotta show you something. There we go. Alright. So now I'm ready to spin the camera around and show you what I'm talking about here. Alright, so this right here is the rear end of the Losi laser nut. Same exact thing, and yes, these are the 100% upgrade shocks to buy for the TENACITY All. So like the SCT, I'm going to lose screws, the SCT, which is the short course truck, the DB Pro, the regular DB open wheel buggy, and yes, this laser nut. It's very surprising the amount of money that all four corners cost you versus what Losi gave you, which is fine. I've got a bone to pick with Horizon and Losi, man. I'm telling you, dude. But anyways, good quality shock. At least you think it is, right? until you go ahead and buy one of these, that's probably the same price as a single one, but for all four corners, okay? This is from a company that's branded OGRC. It's a weird kind of like, Chinese name or whatever it is. They are made in China. But taking apart these shocks versus taking apart the factory, Pro shock from Losi, which is fine. It does the job. But it's sometimes hard to find a quality shock. And, jokingly, I bought, how many sets of shocks did I buy? I think I bought 4 sets of shocks. Here, let me put it over to my face again so you can see me. I bought 4 sets of shocks that were under the premise of being for Tenacity All. Okay, you call it Tenacity All because it's all the parts fit all the Tenacity models. Okay, one of the sets I already returned because taking it out of the package, I already knew it was a piece of crap. These shocks come pre-filled with, it's either 40 or 45 weight oil. The absolute perfect weight oil for suspension actuation in my area and climate, whatever. This, I think, is probably the same manufacturer, but I think this was like $1 more. I have got, 2 more sets of these shocks in my Amazon, dude. In my Amazon cart right now, and they're $2 cheaper than when I bought this set. They are, $22 or something like that? What? All 4 corners filled with juice, and it's actual shock oil. It's hard to justify paying $30 for a set of 2 of these when you could pay $22 and get a set of 4 that have a bigger bore and the very slightest amount of longer stroke, which is actually a good thing depending upon what you do. And for what I do with my RCs, I could definitely appreciate that very minimal amount of extra stroke. So what I mean by that, right, is I took this one right here, which is the rear shock to the laser. It's the same across all the platforms, right? The shock that's right there, it's a longer shock. So it's longer by just a few millimeters, but every millimeter counts when you're white. Hopefully you got a chuckle out of that. But anyways, so it's a very slightly longer shock than this, right? But when you collapse them down to full berry, the brand new shocks are the same exact, height, collapsed. Do you know what I'm saying? So, to me, that's a huge, huge bonus, man. Wicked big bonus. At least in my mind it is. But anyways, yeah. Yeah, dude. Let me do something right. See if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this right here. So I'm going to switch this to here. But I'm going to do something in the background. Will this allow background? No, it won't. Okay, so it won't allow me to. So what I'll do is, let's see. When I'm done with this live, what I'll do is I'll post my link. If you want to buy these shocks, obviously I'm trying to make a buck, make a penny. I don't know how Amazon does it, but if I put my link in there, and these are the shocks you want, you can buy them through my link, And then, like, I don't know how I don't think I can do it. Can I put it in now? Actually, you know what? I think I can. Check this out. So if I back out of here, I'm trying to figure this out. Because I know people you look for a product, and when you come across something that's good, you know, dude, people want to know, like, how can I buy it? And can you have chrome on a... Yeah, there we go. I was just about to ask if you can have chrome on an iPad. Dude, I get this iPad and I don't even use it. Except for this. I use it for this. I'll jump into the comments. Alright, so I gotta sign in. How do I sign in? Oh, look at that. It's all automatic? Scan this. No, I can't do that. Scan this QR code. Oh, okay. I can't. I can't scan. Oh, thanks. Let's see if I can remember my password. For security, you sent something to your thing. Okay. So now I have to put in some special... Wow, dude, the authentication and security, you know, hurdles you gotta jump through. I guess it's all right. Oh, look at that. I can do it. All right, watch this. Ready? Go to here. No. I don't think. Amazon's right there. I don't think I got an Amazon thing coming. I just don't want her to freak out the... She has a tendency to be able to freak out the people that show up. Hey. I don't know how to do it. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to add this to show you. So I guess only in... Stop it. Daisy. Stop. Be a pill. Dude, how do you go back on a iPad? All right. Oh, stop it, iPad, will you? Well, I guess I can't do it. I thought I could share the link. I don't know, dude. I don't know how to operate this thing. Yeah, I know it was left on my door. Do I do that? No? What if I do that? Do I do that? Dude, I have no idea what's going on here. Alright, well, never mind. I thought I could figure this out. I can't figure this crap out. Let's go full screen. Let me go full screen now. Bam. Alright. Anyways, when I end the live stream, I'll be able to put the link on there. What a waste of time that was, dude. Still don't know how to operate a stinking iPad, man. Hey, close enough. So anyways, we got it. Sam, we got Vince Vargas, Sleek Hob. Jesus. Sorry. I know some people don't like. It's not taking. Some people flip out. You're taking the name in vain. It's like, oh, I'm not. Knock it off. Stop trying to tell me what I'm doing when I'm not doing what you think I'm doing. Hey, Chef Bansley's here. What's going on, dude? RC Steve. We got Daniel. Vargas is here. What's going on, Vince? Sam is here. I said Sleek already. We got Nicholas. What's going on, guy? Christopher Taylor. What's going on, guy? See, dude, this is awesome. And I'm not saying that the people right down the street that are watching the live stream that you're not important to, but when you have somebody, it still blows my mind, even to this day, when you've got somebody in Scotland, when you got somebody in Canada, when you literally have somebody across the pond on the opposite side of the planet in the UK, literally watching it, like, live, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just cool. It's cool to know that my face is in the UK right now. You know what I'm saying? It's just, granted I can't see through the screen, but it's still, to this day, it's cool to know that, you know, technically I'm in the UK right now. I'm in Scotland right now. I'm in Canada right now, dude. I am. You hear that? That was the UPS drive. I'm just doing a burnout. It's raining out, so it's very easy to do. But it's just, I don't know why it should still blow my mind, but it does. It's just cool. So, anyways. Slash Raptor, what's going on, dude? Abe Froman's here. What's going on, man? That's funny. That name is still funny to me. Let's see. There you go, dude. Bob's RC. Right now, I'm in Ontario, Canada. It's just friggin' awesome, dude. I still love it. That's why I should keep doing these lives, man. Like I said, rainy day repairs. We'll always do rainy day repairs, so at least I should say I'll try to always do rainy day repairs. But anyways, once I'm done with this live, I'll put a link so you can get these exact shocks. There's a couple of different color options, but these things, I mean, granted, no, I haven't used them, but taking them apart and seeing the quality of the materials exceed a factory original, at least in my mind, that's what I'm seeing. Everything about this shock just doesn't make sense to what you're getting. So these are bladder shocks. It's a thicker shock shaft. Like, I mean, it's why the aftermarket is a crapshoot. Because these things, these ones, these are already going to be returned. These are already going to be returned. Size-wise, these are probably more accurate. So length and shock body width, these are more accurate. But just the actuation, these are a larger bore. Even the thread collars. So you've got a plastic, little spring collar here for adjusting your spring tension. Even the way the threads are cut on the body of this shock compared to the quality of the other threads is just different. And how do I know? Because of this device right here. This device allowed me to be able to take photos of like things, like really zoom in, and because I mean, like I had the time, dude. I had the time, and sometimes that's what you do, is you take the time. And sometimes, dude, you take the time, even setting up your gears. You take the time setting up the mesh of your gears. Yeah, dude, that's a dial indicator. So anyways, a good shim to get for these Tenacity all is this right here. Oh, it's backwards. It's backwards, right? Yeah. Let me flip this around so I can show you. Let's go back to not looking at my face. We can look at what's really important here. It's definitely not my face here. So, let's see. Maybe like that. It's out of the way. So here's your part number for the Techno. If you want to get the shims that I used, again, this is Tenacity all. So it's TKR 1222. And these are the shims that I used. I've actually used them a few times, but these are the shims that I've used shimming my DB Pro. And now I finally went ahead and shimmed out this thing. So, but what was I showing you here? I was showing you something. Forget what I was showing you. What the hell was I supposed to be showing you here? It wasn't the shocks, right? No. Was it the... Oh, yeah, it was this. Alright, so... I'm losing stuff. Hold on. Stuff's falling on the ground. And that's the other thing, too. When you decide to do, like, work outside, like what I'm doing right now, you've got to be dang careful, because when you drop things on a deck, they have a tendency to go through the gaps of the deck, and you're not climbing under this deck because this deck is only 2 feet off the ground. So yeah, make sure you put like a rug or something underneath you. But what I was showing you, because of the way this is designed, you can see that even with this back brace in place, okay, so it's right there. It's designed so that it's called being splayed, okay? So the rear end, or the track, the way the wheels are set up, it's set up so that the tires have a certain amount of toe, okay? And it just keeps you going straight, kind of the whole deal, whatever. This toe is pretty accentuated, but what it did was this piece, which is what captures your pins, okay? So this piece captures your pins. I never knew that this other half was gone because I don't look at my stuff. Wow, it's really coming down now. But what was kind of interesting or neat was the pin, because of being splayed, because everything's cut straight, because of the pin being splayed, it created the slightest, it's right there. It's right there. See how my driver's not going any further? It created the slightest amount of wear. You can see like the wear right there. It created the slightest amount of, and that's another wear point that I'm addressing right now. See how that's got uneven wear? There's a reason why, and it's because it's splayed. It's splayed out. So when you look at the arm is also going to have an odd kind of wear to it. Well, something that I had done on this one was I've got this nut bolt washer kit, this thing right here. So this thing, I've got, you know, all kinds of like stuff in it, but we've got these little washers. Well, I just stuck the washers on to kind of tighten up the suspension a little bit. And sometimes if you can have a shim or something that goes in between, it just allows sometimes for a smoother operation. So, Venom, what's going on, dude? Big Cal, what's going on, man? Chainsaw, good morning. Chainsaw, are you from California. You're from Canada, right? I think Chainsaw is from California. Why do I keep saying California? From Canada, I think. Thompson, what's going on, guy? JP, you're at work. That's awesome, dude. Pennsylvania, Sleek, what's going? Oh, Colorado, okay. For some reason, there must have been somebody else. There's you and there's you. So like what I've said in the past. The other thing that's kind of neat is there's a lot of people that are from the channel. Get what I'm saying when I'm saying that? When this channel was kind of like, you know, semi-created, not really, but when this channel, during that point in time, in I think 2019 or whatever, was it 2019? Yeah, I think 2019 or somewhere around there. We became like a group, you know what I'm saying? Like community or whatever. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool, like when you look, and I know some people have changed their names, but it's cool seeing the new guys, but then also I'll call you the old timers. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's people in here that are the old timers from the channel. So it's just cool. But anyways, getting back on this thing. There's nothing I can do about the coffin, dude. So let's see. So I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I've got a big box of Jenny's RC stuff to break into, and I bought an entire Jenny's RC like thing because I needed this. I needed this, and then I also needed, if I can grab it, I also needed this piece right here. So behind here, not this piece, because this piece right here should stay plastic, but there's a piece behind me here that's plastic, and I'm also getting that, but GPM has that piece that's behind here that this connects to. It's for 15 bucks. So for 15 bucks, it's in my cart right now with GPM. I will never, or should never, I should never have to buy that piece again. So it's like there's certain pieces that, you know, everybody in here, you know that certain things you've got to leave nylon, plastic. It used to be nylon. I don't know what the hell the molecular thing is now. We'll just call it fiberglass impregnated plastic. But certain pieces you should leave plastic because you need that flex. Other pieces, it's fine to have it be plastic for now, but you slowly start to figure out, okay, well, this part really probably should be metal. And the reason why is tolerances. Now, that kind of rolls right into what somebody had said. Is there volume on this? Dude, I never checked. I'm sure somebody would have said something, right? Yeah, there we go. You can hear the rain. I just gotta check, dude. That was something I didn't check, but I'm sure somebody would have said something. But anyways, where am I going here? That's another thing. Maintenance. So I almost agree with what this guy said. It made total sense, and it's basically what I kind of already do, but it's not, I'm not putting it in a sentence and using it as, you know, my rule of thumb, because things change. So what the guy said was something along the lines of he doesn't do any maintenance on any of his RCs, because I think what he was getting at was by the time it needs maintenance, you might as well just replace the whole thing. Now, Earl and I have touched on that before, where there is a point in time when, depending upon maybe the use or maybe the abuse that the RC has gone through, that you are better off just buying a whole new one, because the cost potentially, and that's where a company like Jenny's, the chop shop, Jenny's is the chop shop, perfect example, that Jenny's has, they've done their homework on how to get their money back, but they will keep you in the hobby potentially longer. Like, dude, I got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. This should be like, you know, I should have called this something else. This ain't no rainy day of repair. This is guy flipping out because you are not buying. Wait a minute. Let me put that around. You don't think you're not getting what you think you're getting, dude. You are. It's why automotive is the same exact thing, dude. That's why this hobby is 100% from automotive. Because everything that applies in automotive applies to all of this crap too. Upgrades, adding more power, expecting more from, you know, the vehicle. When you change one thing, if you've changed that one thing and then don't fully realize in the time or in the moment, you better start changing some other stuff, because it's like the old way of replacing headlights. If you were a bonehead and just went to the parts store and, like, you know, we're talking the actual glass, the glass headlights. If you just went to the auto parts store and got one, you were an idiot, because 2 weeks later the other one was going to burn out. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you buy them in pairs, because if the left side's going to go out, so is the right side at some point. But anyways, this hobby is so exactly like the real life, just scaled down, and it's all scaled down. So like when you get a 10th scale RC, expect to enjoy it 1/10 the amount that you would if it was a real vehicle. Like, you expect to get 10 years. Okay? Really think about it. Think about it. You expect to get whatever the warranty is on a real car. like, what is it, 3 years, 50,000 miles or something. It depends upon the manufacturer, but you expect like the vehicle to get past whatever loan if you bought a vehicle and you didn't pay cash, or if you didn't have a sizable amount to put down as a deposit. You have to fully expect that that vehicle is just going to last about whatever the length of the loan is. So when you buy an RC, it's so damn similar. You know what I mean? 3 years, 30,000 miles. Okay, so 3 months, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's everyday use. And I'm jokingly saying it this way because if you do the math and you do the whole reality thing, at some point, unless you're the mechanic and you're the one that's going to be fixing it, which in RC, a lot of times, the majority of people that buy these things, you're working on your own stuff. You're maintaining your own stuff. You're doing the oil changes. You know what I'm saying? You're wiping it down. You're getting the Arrma. You know what I mean? You're getting this stuff right here. You better get this stuff. Cow RC has a new stuff that just came out, but you're getting the premium. Okay, you're getting the hide wipes instead of using the paper towels that are leaving stuff all over the place. This has got the cleaners. This has got the stuff that's gonna hydrate your plastics. That's right. I said hydrate your plastics. How many of you Dodge owners have the glass dashboards? You know what I'm saying? And why is that? Because the oils that were inside of your dashboard, the sun and the air went ahead and took it away. But anyways, where am I going with this? What this guy was talking about was he has more of the mentality of, I'll buy it, I will rip and enjoy the thing to its end. And then by the time it's needing something, he's not talking about like if he slammed into a tree and he broke an arm, oh, forget it, I'm just going to buy a new RC. He was point blank almost putting like a time period on it to where, and not everybody can do this, and that's the whole thing. Not everybody can buy, you know, a brand new $100,000 truck, drive it for, you know, 4 or 5 years, and then go, you know what? I'm going to get rid of this thing and just buy another $100,000 truck. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can buy another $30,000 car. I don't even know if there are $30,000 cars anymore, but you know what I'm saying. Back in the day, you used to be able to pay $30,000 for a car, and you got a pretty damn good car. But, and I thought about that, and it's like, I totally agree, especially when it's this hobby, because this hobby, and they have to do it. They will point blank nickel and dime you to death. They are in your, I don't have my wallet on me, but they are in your wallet or your fanny pack, if that's how you roll, or your satchel. They are in your wallet pretty damn close to 24/7. Not watching the comments. RC is easier to work on. What's a vehicle warranty, right? UFO, what's going on, dude? Cow RC, what's going on, guy? Dude, I didn't even know you were here, and here I am. Seriously, I'm like, this is the stuff you gotta buy. It's not because he's here. I didn't even realize he was here. But it's like, you know, we try to, you know, figure out, and I'll just talk about Cow RC while he's right here anyway. And the only reason why is not to, you know, slather him with compliments and whatever, but when you have somebody that actually gives a SHI, and like some of the things that he's explained to me, Like even I think what he was saying was that his products sold, and how he does things is based upon actual like usage or actual weight of the product or whatever. But he's got this new product out, and it's technically an old product, but it's branded for RC, which, you know, like when I did my, and that's, we're going to find out what's inside of here. Actually, we won't find out what's inside of here. I am going to take this apart, but before Cow RC, I was always trying to find, like, what is going to be a good lubricant for a differential. So I'm not talking about the inside of the front and rear diffs, and I'm not talking about the inside of the center diff. Usually with the center diff, you're not doing it anyway because it's an open gear set. But I was always trying to figure out what's going to be a good replacement that's automotive that I've already got on hand. That was a big thing with me, was just using what I've got on hand, because some of these products, you have to buy them, but they're not worth their weight. What I am finding myself, and again, I'm not trying to slather Cow RC, is that I'm finding that his products are worth their weight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the towel things here. Even, dude, I'm always going for those now. And yeah, is it because I've got them on hand? Yeah. But do I still grab a whole roll of these? Yeah, you know why? Because I don't want to waste those ones doing the crappy dirty work. Like cleaning out the diff cases. I will take paper towels, and I'll take the paper towel and try to get the most amount of the crap out. But then some of the stuff that you don't know is after I'm done, dude, I mixed up a new bottle of this. Oh yeah, by the way, if you put the stuff under a black light, it almost glows. How did I find that out? Because the sign that my daughter made for me has a black light, like almost ability, like anything that's got that luminescence in it, it all lights up. It's so funny because that's the light that I leave on downstairs in my shop. And when I go downstairs in my shop and that light is still on, when I open up the door, anything that's on my bench that's, you know, reactive to the thing there, the black light illuminesces. Like it lights up like yellow or bright green or whatever. It's just kind of cool. But anyways, so what I was getting at was once I cleaned out the differential with the paper towels, I'll spray some of this in there, and then I'll take one of those hard wipes, and I'll just totally like missaginate the whole plastic and everything. It's a good product. So enough about slathering Cow RC. It's not what this is about. But it's just pointing out that using the right product for the job. Like years ago with car tires, okay? At least around here, the big thing was trying to get your tires to have that wet look. Well, that wet look, I never really liked. I liked the Armor sheen, but some people like to have just that like polyurethane tire look, which I never made any sense to me but that's because I would, you know, I'd take my 79 Trans Am and I would take it on a dirt road and I'd be going sideways around the corners. Well, what's that doing? It's taking all the dust and throw it on my, tires. But anyways, there was some products that they came out with years ago that gave that ultra gloss tire shine, and everybody, not me, everybody was buying it up, and it was slinging all over the place, getting all over your paint, getting all over the inside of your wheel wells. Like, I mean, the stuff was nasty. And they ended up finding out years later that the product was a piece of garbage, that it was actually eating away your tires. It's just like... And what I'm thinking is that Cow RC is at least going through that. I know I was done with Cow RC, but he's going through that process of he's really figuring stuff out. Like, I mean, it's just... Where was I? The whole reason why I was talking about this was I was talking about diff lube. So I'll bring out another Cow RC product, but it's not because I'm talking about that, but it's because it's stuff they actually use. If you can't find this stuff, and this stuff right here, this udder butter, and this, I'm sorry dude, I'm slathering you. This stuff and a combination of this right here, combined absolutely like beautiful together. It's like the new duo that I've been using, and I'll go into like at some point showing how I do it, but it's that testing process. So what I used to use for my differential gears was Permatex. So Permatex in the automotive world is known as a fairly good product, and this stuff was called Permatex Silicone Ceramic Extreme. Okay, and what it is, it's a brake caliper grease. And because I've always deal with, or in the past always dealt with that kind of stuff, there were certain things that you would use, like the Never Seas. Well, Never Seas was always good, I think, until you put too much on. If you slathered too much of the Never Seas on, not only did you turn into the Wizard of Oz oil can guy there, you literally turned into him, because the stuff, like, you would dab it on something and be so careful to not get it on anything else, and you would take the memes are true. You would take that little brush and you would so carefully put it back on the thing, and then one of the hairs would like spit like that. You didn't even think anything of it. And then, like, there was sweat on your face and you just go like this. Dude, you had silver. By the time you were done, you had silver all over your body. It was like glitter. But anyways, so that Permatex Silicone Extreme Orange stuff that I used was actually, and still is, if you can't get this udder butter stuff, a very good product to use. Just keep in mind that because of the type of product it is, it's not necessarily designed for, let's say, RC. It doesn't harm the plastics, but it really has a tendency to bleed out of almost any seam. And these differentials aren't, 100% sealed, but that stuff would find its way outside, and any kind of dust would really attach to it. Now, dust can be your enemy too, because what is dust? Dust is just a very, especially, dirt dust, is just a very fine, grady, silty kind of material that can help wear away at your stuff. But I always do this to it. I go into this, like, thing, dissertation or whatever it is, and I go overboard, and anyways, this isn't even what we're supposed to be talking about here, dude. I'm supposed to be working on this thing. I'm supposed to be cracking this thing open and checking the bearings on this. So, Frank, what's going on, dude? Just, what? Just a tyrant? Dust is abrasive. Exactly, yes. Cow RC will tell you that. Cow RC will tell you he's located in Florida, right? But he's a New Yorker, dude. Cow RC is a New Yorker. He's a New Englander pretending it's a New England company pretending to be Floridian now. Anyways. So, yeah. When I'm done with this live, I'll throw these in the description so that you can see what shocks they were if you have a Tenacity all and you want to do what I'm doing. Now, are they tested? No, but I feel confident enough that these are going to do the job better than the factory originals. And there's nothing wrong with the factory originals except for the fact that if you drove it like I did, you would bend a shock shaft, which I straightened, by the way. Why do I have, oh yeah, trying to show you real quick. So this shock is actually going to go back on the RC that I took it off of. Which one was it? Well, can't tell now, but these are the two front shocks. So I took it off and was able to very carefully hammer it straight. So I'm done with this talking here. I gotta switch this around. Rainy day repairs, dude, and all I'm doing is just talking my head off. This is what this live is supposed to be about, was cracking open this center diff and seeing how it looked. One thing I will say, debris wise, and me knowing what I put this thing through, debris wise, this thing looks great, dude. So we're going to check the bearing. We're going to check the bearing in this. 9 times out of 10 or 7 times out of 10, this bearing is fine. A lot of times it's this front bearing, pinion side bearing, that has the issue. And that's because SHI gets in there. This was relatively clean inside. I was very happy to see that. So the other thing I'm noticing too is this isn't even a sealed thing here. Look at that. This isn't sealed, so this is a single cover, and this thing did pretty damn good. So, anyways, squirrel. I know, dude. Exactly. That's 100%. Robbie's RC, what's going on, dude? Finally here for a live. No kidding, man. Alright, so this is basically just, you know, again, we're not using the cow RC stuff right now just because I don't want to waste it. You knock off all the crap with paper towels. Just any of the junk that, you know, whatever, you want to knock off real quick. The other thing that I had done too, which is probably not necessarily recommended, was when I rebuilt my diffs, I swapped the cups. And the reason why I swapped the cups is because they're opposing. So if you're going forward all the time, you'll get a certain amount of forward wear. Okay, see where the paper towel's getting stuck there? You get a certain amount of forward wear, and you'll get next to nothing for reverse wear. So when you go into a differential, if you have the ability, swap your cups. Because now all of a sudden this cup becomes that cup. So now you've got 50% more forward you can go and not replacing the piece. So, pro tip. All right, so we are going to go ahead and pull this one screw out of here, and then I'll just take these covers off, and we'll get a look inside and see what the real inside is looking like. We'll separate the motor. We'll get a look at maybe the inside of this diff. I don't know if I want to bother with that. We'll see. It's probably fine, but actually, you know what? I probably won't touch it. It actually feels pretty good. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop that one screw out right there. There's a certain amount of whatever. Oh, Earl, while you're here, I don't know how long you've been here, but what I was talking about earlier was I was talking about, you know, the conversation that we've had about, you know, at some point, sometimes just point blank replacing the RC, especially when it's a certain, you know, manufacturer, that's what you're better off doing. You're better off point blank just replacing the entire thing, because cost effective wise, you know, you're better off. But maintenance wise, and I know you've said this, and you don't necessarily say it in the videos, so in case you don't know, Earl and I are brothers from another mother. That's why we look different. That's why, you know, he's, you know, 7'2" and I'm 5'3". You know, Danny DeVito thing. But when Earl does what he calls a refresh, he really, like, I mean, with me, I'll take duct tape and I'll keep a body together as long as it can hold together. Earl likes to, you know, he's got one little tiny fracture and maybe like a scratch and maybe a tire wore through the paint. He replaces the entire body. But that's California for you. That's automotive. You know, he's had, ask him, dude, he's had cars in magazines. So his own personal vehicles. He's had cars in magazines, dude. So there's a certain level of care that he has that goes from his own vehicles to even right straight into his RCs. Yeah. So, but ask him about his stuff there. But I'm pretty sure, from memory serves pretty good, is that we've had that conversation where there's also a finite amount of maintenance that you can or should do, and then at some point, you know, it's time to move on, kind of thing, I guess. Yeah. Here I am working on this, you're not even seeing it. So, we're just working on this here. So I think I can do it this way. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to have this out of my face, but still be able to see. Now, see, that ain't gonna work, is it? Is that gonna work? Right here? Right here? Yeah, I think that'll work. I just want to be able to see so you can see the little chat window right there. Savage, what's going on, guy? Matt Mass, what's going on, dude? Earl has it. Yes, he does. Sometimes after all the testing, the RC needs a refresh and a new. But yeah, but dude, you'll get like one scratch on a body and you're replacing it. I think I'm more along the lines of, you know, you beat the thing up and you beat it up to the point to where it needs so much in repair, you point blank are better off of buying a new one. So motor bearing wise, 100% perfect. Wow. So some of the cheaper RCs that have this branding on them don't have good motors. Now, this thing was monster nut. So this RC has been put through a lot of abuse. And for that pinion side bearing to have zero, like, I mean, dude, I can't, that thing feels mint. That's a good SPEKTRUM motor right there. That's a good one. Wow. Differential. See, I am probably going to pop these bearings out and clean them up. Check the bearing. Doesn't even need to be flushed. So like this, I'll use a paper towel and not waste a hide wipe. Precious. Hide wipes are precious, dude. You don't want to waste them. Use your paper towels first to, you know, get off all the big stuff. And then take your hide wipe and lubricate your plastics with it. I don't... This bearing feels mint, dude. Wow. Okay. So I will be doing that anyway. We'll set up a nice little table here to service that bearing right there. Yeah, see, the laser nut had the nice diff in it too. Why did they discontinue the laser nut? I think it's because of exactly what I've talked about. Was that it was a DB Pro that they just kind of, I don't know, went overboard with. And the aftermarket for the laser nut actually went pretty crazy. Like, I mean, GPM has got just about every piece that you could potentially want for that RC. I'm not going to say that that's... I'm going to say that's bearing oil and not anything else. The reason why I can say that is you can see it spraying. See how it's spraying inside of there? That's sprayed. That's literal, that's bearing lube. That's not diff juice. I'm going to clean this off just a little bit more. Again, use a paper towel. Yeah, the new car feel. What the heck was that? I gotta put that in sleep mode. That was annoying. How do I put that in sleep mode? Crap. I don't know how to do that. Nope, I can't do it. Well, you're gonna be hearing vibrations. I can't put my camera in sleep mode. We got one of those bird cameras, and surprisingly, the birds are going to it right now. So if you hear vibrations, it's probably that bird camera doing its thing. So I'm just gonna very gingerly see if I can just pop this gear off without applying heat. Whoa. That was... Wow. That was nothing to pull that out of the... That stupid bird camera, dude. You know what? Hold on. I'll be right back. Hey, you can watch the rain. Watch the rain fall. Or you can look at Kobe. look at him while I'm gone. You guys watch him for me? Well, I thought I could. Ah, dang it. I thought I could turn off the notifications. Apparently I can't. So, alright. Where are we here? Something like that. Yeah, I guess that's good enough. So that screw took nothing to come out. So this was needing to be done. And this one's tight. Okay. So what I don't want to do is I do not want to strip. That one was wicked easy to come out. And that one's easy to come out. So we just have one right there. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of fire to that one right there. So I have to get my fire because that's not out here. Awesome. Yeah, you can see what's causing the... God, everything's bugging me. So, right. Is the camera upside down? It is, isn't it? How did it stay upside down? Isn't it supposed to like automatically? There we go. Whoa! I'll let you look at the birds while I see if I can find what I'm looking for. You can watch the birds. What was I getting? Fire. Do I have the fire out here? I don't know what I do with the fire. My torch. I don't know what I do with it. Oh, no birds probably came, huh? Alright. And slowly getting back in here. Where am I? Right there. Alright, so I'm just going to apply a little bit of fire. Right to there. Well, that should be enough, I hope. Yeah, look at that. Perfect. John Miller, what's going on, dude? Look at that, dude. All the people are coming in. That's wild. Bird watching with RC Garage. Know it, man. All right. So, let's just pop this gear off of here. Ah, no, I didn't want to do that. Okay. I just want the gear. I didn't want to open up the cover. Crap. If I press Nah, dang it, dude. I'm gonna have to give it some taps. Then I have my hammer. Crap. Is that coming off? There we go. It's coming. There we go. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to open up the case, but the case is going to open anyway. But what I do want to do is just kind of clean this off while I'm right here. I'm going to fully clean off that gear. Not taking the dirt and pushing them into the holes. And not wasting a hide wipe. Get over there. Dude, that spider's tiny. I'm over here playing with a spider. Oh, little dude. Look how small that spider is. Where'd he go? Oh, look at that. There you go. Right there. Got the small little spider right there. Whoa. Where is he? Look how tiny he is. Holy crap, dude. That thing is tiny. Out of here. I did. I just gave him the out of here. All right. Just cleaning. Look at that. That's some good stuff right there. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this side too. Pop that bearing out. Give it a clean. Guy, you still have your saw? Yes, I do, actually, dude. Yep, I do. $500. Damn, now that's... If you know about the soldering station, man, anybody that knows about the soldering station is obviously somebody that has been with this channel forever. I could go crazy cleaning that, but why? I don't need to go nuts. I don't need to go inside of there and clean all that garbage out of there. That's good enough. That's sterile enough, right? I think so. Could take this and really go sterile. Just don't be using this back with your teeth. Never throw away your toothbrushes. Whoa. Never throw away your toothbrushes. There's always going to be a use for them, especially when it comes to this stuff. Look at that. Dude, this gear looks brand new, man. It's a hot racing gear, so I've been in here. Dude, I don't even remember doing this. This ain't factory. That's a hot racing gear. Wow, I don't remember. I really don't. Let's see what size that is. It's about a 10. It's about a 10. 10 and a half. Whatever the sizing is. Wow, I didn't even know. I didn't even know. I must have changed this to a hot racing. Wow. Okay, cool. So this is all nice and clean. I'm going to pop this bearing out if I can. Oh, look at that. Look how nice and easy this is coming apart. Happy. Same thing with this side. Clean this off. I am going to open up this diff just because it is already open. I didn't mean to open it, but it's already technically open, so let's get a look inside. See what we're looking at here. I'm going to put the flash on so it brightens it up. Here we go. Look at that, huh? I'm getting good at this. So here we go. Ooh, cracked it open. And, yep, there's lube in there. Okay. We're just going to go ahead and leave that alone. The differential feels absolutely beautiful, so no reason to be cracking into this and doing anything to it. Yeah, we're just going to leave that alone. But these gears, these bearings though, I am going to go ahead and pop the seals. And I might as well show you the process that I do now. So if I get a bearing that feels like this, okay, to understand, here's the other thing too. I've been using these. This one actually is the wrong one. Well, because I use these to check the bearings sometimes. Because what it does is the feeling will resonate to the other part, but this is the wrong one. I've got one that steps more individually. But feeling this bearing, which, there we go. It feels so damn smooth that the only thing that I'm going to have to do to this is install keep this a nice clean surface here. The only thing I'm going to have to do is install some of this right here. So the installation method is very, very easy. So if you've never done this before, you got to be very careful. You do have to use a razor blade. There's no other way around it. You have to carefully get into the seal and not slip off and go into a finger. So you have to not be looking at the camera. You have to be looking at what you're doing. Very carefully go in between the race. So I usually will go after the outer race. And you just very carefully... Ah, crap, here I am telling you how to do it. And probably going to stab myself. There we go. Very carefully pull that off. Now there should be, when I slide this, you should see some black. Okay? Now normally, you would think, well, shouldn't you clean it out? No. No, with the way this bearing feels, absolutely not. The liquid metal that's in here is actually a benefit. So I'm just going to further benefit. I'm going to further supplement. That's what's nice about having this as a syringe, is you literally just syringe it right in there. And it's not packing the bearing. You're just packing just the one side because it just needs just a little extra lube. That's it. Semi-packing it, but not really. Take your seal and go ahead and throw your seal back on. That's all you got to do. The other thing that you could have done, or I could have done, was flush it. Flush it out with some, what's the stuff I use? I use the lacquer thinner. Lacquer thinner, and you can flush it out. Flush out the bearings and the cage and everything. What car am I working on? the Losi Tenacity laser nut. Or you should say Tenacity all. It's a very nicely built, or at least it was, because now it's not available anymore. Got to make sure that that seal is fully sealed too once you take that out. You can destroy the seal pulling it out. You just got to be careful that you don't. So just looking over it, making sure that the seal is fully seated, and it definitely is. And that bearing now feels definitely more lubricated. So it's going to be a very happy bearing. So we'll do the same thing with this one right here. It's all cleaned. I'm just checking the condition of the seal itself. Clean off your blade. Sterilize it. And carefully go in on the edge and just hook in and grab that seal out. Just like that. The same thing. There'll be some black on it. Almost no black on that. And I'll go ahead and just put just a little bit in there. Pick up the seal, make sure you get the right orientation. Usually you can tell that you get the right orientation because the way the seal wraps over. So it's wrapped on one side and there's a divide on the other. See how, see like the ridges? Put that in and then go around like that. It's all sealed up. Check the seal. Make sure it's all the way around. Clean it up. And then we'll zoom out. Yeah, you know what, Bob's RC? That's why I was saying. Same thing with a vehicle. If you know, a real vehicle, if you do not have your tires checked and balanced, it does so much that people just don't realize. And suspension on a vehicle, tires and the shocks and everything about it can also make it so that everything feels fine and it's not. So right now I'm just going to make sure that this is aligned, and it is. Yeah, JP, man, like that's kind of why I'm doing this. I've just been running stuff and doing nothing about it. Something will break and I'll just move on to the next one. And now is the time to basically take care of all this stuff. I got a massive box from Jenny's. So, hopefully I've got everything in it that I need. These little babies are hot. Sterilized. Where's the cap? There it is. So this is another part I gotta clean too. Move this off to the side here. Chris. Oh yeah, no, I already answered you. Drone 4K, hello. Inside of this was a lot cleaner than I expected. Get this thing all squared away here. Now, the only thing I was thinking. Should do just the smallest amount of thread lock on these screws. Smallest amount of thread lock means that right there. Something that's so hard to focus you can't even see it. What is the point of that camera? So, I believe here is slightly off. There we go. Crap. Just noticed that was off. Alright, so, because I don't want to wreck it, let's try this again. Gear is not fully aligned, which is going to cause an issue. So what it is I've got to align the gear up I think I got it. Something feels not right. Right there. Yeah, see, the gear is not aligned. Crap. Needs to go that way a little bit. You can really see it. When you're looking down into the holes, I can see that the gear is just a touch off. So, I'm going to reset this gear. Need something to slam down onto it. Okay, try this again. That's lined up. What I should do is let the screws line that gear up if I can. That's better. There we go. That's more like it. Of course, all the thread lock that I put on. That's better. Let's bring that gear right into place. Much happier. That's it. Check this side for tightness too. I am getting the slightest tweak out of these. Not that one. These three. I did get the slightest little tweak out of them. Alright. That's a happy diff. Damn, look at that thing. That thing looks nice. Working on a Losi Tenacity laser nut. Oh, look at that bearing. Isn't that a nice looking diff, man? That's some Losi quality. That's when Losi had some quality. Hopefully they still have it, but that looks nice. Alright. I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of clean this up a little bit. Don't forget the cap off your Loctite. Can't believe doing this kind of cleaning, but I mean, I gotta tell you. So, talk about that just for a second. The amount of cleaning that I'm doing to this thing is not normal. Dude, it's not normal. A lot of people that are in here, 25 people, right? How many thumbs ups we got? 28 thumbs ups and 25 people. Hey, as long as it exceeds. Sometimes you could tell when, I've always, and this just point blank, it goes back to when I was young, okay? Team Associated, Losi, Kyosho. Even Kyosho, it's kind of a bummer, man. It's like Kyosho just didn't make it. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you think of Team Associated versus Kyosho, because in reality, that's kind of the way it was. And I think also Losi was in that mix. But my first RC cars, real ones, we're not talking, Toys R Us, Child World, Radio Shack, Rat Shack. Rat Shack is what it was called, dude. It was called Rat Shack. Those were my first, real RC cars. And Losi was always special because Losi was like that brand that, as a kid, jokingly what I would say I couldn't afford. Well, it was basically what my mother couldn't afford, in a way. But, you would do some odd jobs and try to save money, and my grandparents were a big, big part of that. So the hobby shop that I used to go to when I was a kid was called Anson Hobby. They also had Hobby Town, I think, in... Is it Hobby Town? Is that what it was called, Hobby Town? It was in the Hanover Mall. But that was billions of years ago when I was a kid. But yeah, Hanson Hobby was the place I went when I was a kid. And that was where I got my first, RC stuff. Yeah, why am I even talking about this? I don't even know. Why was I talking about that? Quality? Talking about RC quality? Traxxas obviously was always around, but from memory, Traxxas was something that there was no way it was being afforded, if I remember right. But anyways, Losi always seemingly was the top-notch quality. I think Kyosho, and especially when I raced, it was Team Associated, Kyosho, and Losi. And that was just what was here. It was just local racing, not I'm some racer. I'm not. I was just a regular kid pissing off the actual racers at the track because I did okay. I was good. I knew how to drive a RC car. But yeah, just Losi quality just kind of always seemed to be there, and it almost seems like, even though it's really not Losi anymore, it just seems like Losi just has that slightly higher grade, and I mean slightly now. But Losi was just that better RC. So now we're gonna reinstall the diff. Now that I got off track talking about Losi. Let's turn this around. What's up, buddy? You enjoying the... Hey, Colby. Colby, what you doing, buddy? You enjoying the rain? Rainy day repairs. Or whatever you want to call this. See, look at that. You can even see the chat now. See, right there. Chat's right there. Look at this. Oh, I was talking about like going overboard with cleaning. That's where I was. That's what I was talking about. I guess when you really appreciate an RC or whatever, I think that's why I'm going so in depth with like cleaning this entire thing, is because this is really a good quality RC. Now that mesh is that mesh is not bad actually. Usually with these gears, I like to run just a slightly tighter mesh than that. I might look at it right now, but that's a real small gear anyway. But I have to look into that. Did they factory put a hot racing gear, or is that me? Dude, I really don't remember. I don't see why they would do that, but I also don't understand why I've got that gear. But that mesh, that's a little sloppy. See here, let's zoom in and I'll show you what I'm talking about. This mesh right here isn't necessarily the mesh that I usually go with for Mod 1. I usually have it a little bit tighter. So here's your view right here. That to me is too much. It's just worn in a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeak that a little bit tighter. And it's just a squeak. It's not a large amount. Then I'm going to make that tighter if I can. Is that flash still on? No, it's not. Put it on. There we go. Yeah, it never rains in California. Dude, that's why, look at, that's why everything we have here is lush and green. You don't see this stuff in Cali, but you also don't see that in Cali either. Gray skies. You guys, all you guys see are red sunsets, and that's not necessarily the sun setting. That's because of the fires. Because your background is usually always on fire, so you always get them nice red sunsets. Tamaya? Oh yeah. I remember Tamaya guy. Yeah, dude, the dry air is nice. This humid air can be rough. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can loosen that. I'm starting to wonder if it's almost as tight as it can be. I'm going to find out in a second here if that is already as tight as it can be. Okay, I was able to squeak that a little bit. Oh, I was able to move it, I think. That's a little better. Give it a crank. Check it. Ah, yeah, that's nice now. I'm going to give it a rotate, though. Make sure it's that way all the way around. Yeah, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is the mesh that I like to have, especially for this car. Look at this. This, dude, that's, man. Look at that. That's where the mesh is, right there. Perfect. Not perfect, but close enough. So let's just make sure this is all tight now. Tight. And even though I shouldn't have to, I'm just going to go after the pinion for a little squeak. Just to see. And you have to access it down here. Right there. Just going to see if I can get a little tweak out of there. Probably shouldn't. Nah, it's tight. Okay. Happy. Definitely happy. Bearing there, bearing there. Put this cover on the right way, guy. Which is this way. No, which is this way. Alright. Where's that other cover piece? Gotta love the fires, right? Dude, you got a sunset every day. Whether you got rain or not. Something's always on fire in California, especially probably now, too. Everything's burning down, dude. 275, yeah. You know, that's something that I've never seen personally. I'd like to actually just go see some of the redwoods, man. We ain't got nothing like that here. You guys have dino trees. Rebuilt and yeah, dude. Earl, you're absolutely right, man. This thing is ready to run, man. Ready to rip. I don't know what I did with the screw that went for there, though. What did I do with that? Oh, no! Gone forever. What did I do with that screw? Oh, no. I don't see it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I found it. Nice. That's funny as I'm noticing that. Why is that deflected like that? What keeps that in place? Does anything keep that in place? Just the point blank chassis? I almost feel like that's what keeps that in place is the chassis. Because it's not like grooved or anything. It's kind of flexing out right now. Is that because I tightened the screw too tight? Kind of would make sense. Huh. I wonder. So I'd bend this down a little bit. That. Bending that down like that, and then what I'll do, I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but I get one of my screws here and one of my washers. What that will do is cover a slightly wider surface area. Oh, actually, is that going to make sense? Yeah, let's try that. See if that works. No. Well, I mean, it is kind of close, but it's not. It's more like what needed to happen was... It's probably the chassis that kind of keeps it in place. But what I should do is I should just bend this inward like that. Bend that inward. And then that will create the better seal. Right? Yeah. Well, I don't know. Can't have it too much. I don't know what I'm doing, dude, because there was no reason for me to do what I'm doing right now, because the amount of debris that was in there was nothing. So I'm basically just wasting time right now. Just put the damn thing together. Be done with it. I'm over here analyzing this thing when I don't need to. Yes, I said analyzing. Because it is. I'm not analyzing it, I'm analyzing it. Yeah, I'm keeping the washer on there. Just because it seems like it's a good idea. There we go. Cool. Oh, look at that. Now it's mint. Alright. So there we go. Close up of the eye. Alright, so anyways, is that where this live should stop? What time is it? I don't even know what time it is right now. Oh, I should look at my watch. It's noontime. How long has this live been going for? This live has been on here for 2 hours? I've been sitting here on my butt wasting 2 hours of my life? Hanging out with you guys? No. Didn't need to do anything to the center diff other than... Yeah, I didn't even really need to service the bearings, but... Yeah, I probably did. They felt absolutely beautiful. And it is very surprising the overall condition of this RC, knowing what I transformed it into and how abusive I was to this thing. Very surprised to see the overall very good condition that this thing is in. It is a 1/10 scale XL DB Pro. That's what it basically is. It's the Losi Tenacity laser nut. And it's a car that you can no longer get. I wish I knew why, other than the fact that I feel like I know why. So why? So how many people we got here? Just trying to get your attention right now. I know you guys are having external conversations and you're doing your own thing. We got 26 people watching right now. Each person, you should be able to put an answer in this comment section. So, why can you still buy a Losi Tenacity DB Pro, but you can no longer buy this as a brand new vehicle from Losi, technically Horizon? Leave a comment right now. Type it out, or whatever, if you want. There should be 26 answers. Let's go, dude. Tell me why you think or heard that they discontinued the laser nut. Come on, Lorne. Dude, you can come up with a better idea. I have no idea, man. My 3 answers, that's it? 1.5 bearings an hour, dude. That was a good one. Chris. That's a good one. RC Boy, same thing. Good one. Grateful Dabs. Sounds like you get some insider info. So here's my, I'll just put my opinion. So when this thing first came out, obviously I grabbed it right away. I was like, wow, this thing looks great. When I started doing some research into the car, you point blank then just realized this is, all they did was stretch a DB Pro chassis and make it taller, made it heavier, and did nothing else to the RC. I mean, obviously design and all that stuff went into making it what it is, which I can appreciate now more, I think, than I appreciated then. So it's a DB Pro that's stretched and so lengthened, stretched, so stretched in length and stretched in height, and they put bigger tires and wheels on it that taxed the already awesome RC even more. And I think what happened is, it's just a guess. Who knows? Maybe licensing ran out. I have no idea. Maybe, you know, the people that own Lasernut, who knows? Maybe they had a different viewpoint on something, and Horizon's like, whoa, we can't have that. It's you know how some companies are. But that's my guess, is that they took an awesome platform and just, and I shouldn't say went the cheap route, because, you know, the whole design on getting it to look pretty damn close to the original that they're basing it off of was good, looks wise. Even giving it the little grasshopper, you know, not rear suspension, but the roll bars, giving it, you know, the grasshopper little things there, and, you know, kind of look cool and whatever, and I just feel as though they overworked the RC, and from what I can remember was that, and it's probably due to a lot, you know, a lot lack of maintenance, but it's also because the car is being overdriven. The tail end was a big deal, which was why that was the first thing that I did after I did a couple of videos on this thing, was I got rid of that tire, that spare tire on the rear end. Because I realized that, you know, through everything that you could see, that thing was just constantly squatting, and DB Pro shocks just weren't cutting it. So get rid of that spare tire that was on the back. Even the tires and wheels, like what Grateful Dab said, was that, you know, that was my biggest issue, was the power that this thing has was stripping out the hexes instantaneously, like, and especially on the rear. It's a 12 millimeter hex, and the DB Pro hex is designed to be, you know, a race car, right? It's designed to be a race car. So the size of the hex was like the size of this, you know, thing here. So when I did my monster nut, dude, this thing ran Red Cat Racing Kaiju tires and wheels. And the only way for that to happen was to essentially, you had to put on this exact hex, which was the Hobao Hex. So when I did the conversion, getting rid of that rear cage and all that stuff, and, you know, the rear tire, and putting on a wing, it just, I think it saved the RC for me. Like, it became something that, you know, I was more comfortable with driving. I mean, come on. If I can backflip a DB Pro, stock power, that's pretty damn good. And now that this thing is rocking these shocks, look at those shocks, dude. This is more appropriate for an RC that they basically XL. They didn't widen it. I think just the rubber. But they were asking a lot of the RC, so like the rear end, rear differential, the input of the pinion side of that rear differential was wallowing out. And the reason why I was wallowing out was because the bearing, from probably lack of maintenance, but because it's being overdriven, you were asking so much of that rear end. It was too much. That's my opinion. Was they just didn't put enough into it. It's a beautiful looking platform, at least for me, once the rear tire was off. And that's probably why I'm going so heavily into working on this thing again, is because it really is a good RC car. And it deserves it. What this thing, the smiles for miles that this thing gave me, 100% deserves what I just did to it. So, and like I had said, was that I bought a whole bunch of stuff from Jenny's RC, and it's fixing cars. It's even, buying a body for a car that kind of really didn't need it, but it was almost doing the Earl Moorhead refresh kind of thing. Could not pass up the price. 100% worth it. There's no way you could touch a body for that price. So, yeah. Front differential, 100% serviced. Well, serviced meaning maintenance. It went in for an oil change. So the front end got an oil change, brand new shocks, including differential as far as, changing out its fluids. The silicone ceramic extreme from Permatex actually does work. But the proper product to use in there is this right here, the other butter. So that's the proper product to use. Rear differential, got a set of brand new. Let's talk about that. Probably talk about that at a later time. Yeah. Got a brand new set of gears, dude. Losi. 2029. I don't feel I got what I paid for. Well, I mean, it's only $15, but the quality of the gear set that came out of it does not appear to be the same quality going into it. Now, I could be wrong. I'm no designer. I'm more of the guy that's on the sidelines that's going to literally complain about everything that I can possibly find. So who knows? Did they strengthen the gears? Is the gear a better material? Or were they saving money by doing what they did with the gears? The cynic in me, which I'm very cynical about certain things, but life has taught me to be that way. Is cynical the right word? I think it's the right word. Critical, cynical, critical, whatever you want to call me. Is that it's 100%. Well, how about this? We'll go 99.7% is cost savings. From what I know, I'm not sure about Traxxas yet, because I haven't really gone crazily into it. But because I was just so deep dived into this thing, and I realized I had a posi traction rear end because one of the gears broke, and I'm like, I'll throw a new set of gears in it. Everything about that differential other than the case was, screwed up, except for the ring gear and the pinion gear were actually in absolutely beautiful shape for being as worn as they are. Did I feel it necessary to throw a ring and pinion at it? Nope. The mesh was beautiful. It was slightly open, so I slightly re-shimmed it back to being a little bit tighter, which will be fine for an RC car. dude, they're penny grabbing and making you pay. I mean, dude, you do it yourself. Go online right now to Losi.com and pull up that part number, zoom into the gear. That is not the gear you're going to get. So they're lying to you too. Right? They're lying. They're telling you, they're showing you a picture of what you're going to get. But guess what? That's not what you're going to get in the package. You're not getting that in the package. That's kind of ticks me off. And Earl had said to me, he goes, you know, that he's ordered parts and the wrong parts of it. I 100% agree. I get it, but not this. This is penny pinching, cost savings that is not going to, in my opinion, give me the same amount of smiles for miles longevity that my factory original gears gave me. Case in point, my wife's 2017 Honda CR-V. The car has 150,000 miles on it probably like today or last weekend, okay? 150,000 miles on it. At probably, I mean, I guess I could say 100 and, that's when the brake pads were changed. Factory OEM pads and rotors were able to scrape by, and when I mean scrape by, one of the pads had just lost all of its brake material. So yes, roll back that a few thousand miles, and that's when those brake pads or those brakes should have been redone. Pads and rotors that we put on it, they're power stops, slotted, drilled, you know, because you know, Honda CR-V, right? Come on, Honda speak right here. Now this thing's a Honda R with those things on it. And this is just my take on it. An automotive manufacturer is going to penny pinch themselves, going to give you what they can hopefully give you to get them just a touch past warranty. And then any part almost feels like, even if, you know, because I mean, you're talking potentially 7 years, 10 years, whatever. Any part that you're buying beyond that. And my guess is even though it's factory, like go to a Honda dealership and buy Honda rotors and Honda pads, I feel as though, I doubt we would have got the same amount of mileage out of it, smiles for miles. And to have seen that firsthand and not even think that RC companies would do that, 100% they did. They realized that, you know, get us out of warranty, 2 years with Arrma, get you out of warranty and you'll keep coming back for more parts, hopefully. And the quality of the penny pinching that went into the replacement parts, dude, it just sucked to see. I was actually expecting to get the gears that came out of it. Like, dude, I'm talking like, and that's why I'm joking, you know, I'm not joking. Using this device right here, when you go and replace a part with a brand new part, use this device, your cell phone, and look at the quality difference in the parts. the replacement parts that went in it, I don't think were of the same quality that were already in the car. So, and that, you don't have a choice, dude. You don't have a choice. With cars, you know, real cars, you got a choice. China, 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 China. Taiwan. You know what I mean? There's your choice. Maybe Korea. I don't know. Japan. Some Japan stuff. You know what I mean? And that's not saying that everything from China's junk, because it's not. It's like, you know, people, oh, I'd buy American made. It's like, dude, you really know what you're saying? Just because you're buying something that's American made doesn't actually mean that that's good quality. This is American made garbage, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. The laser nut is just about ready. I got to break into that Jenny's box so I can put this thing fully back together with its new shocks, dude. I can't wait to try these out. If we get a break within the next couple of days in the crappy weather that we got, I am taking this laser nut. I got to figure out what tires and wheels I want to put on it. I think I've got an idea. But I'm going to take this to the skate park and just have some fun. Test out these new shocks. I think that'll be a great place to bring it because there's plenty of jumps to test out these new shocks. But from what I'm looking at, I mean, dude, look at this. Look at these things, dude. From what I'm looking at, man, these shocks right here, I think these things are going to be a score. I mean, look at that. They even look nice. And sometimes looks, that's what it's all about, man. It's about looks, you know? It's like Earl knows all about looks versus function. Slamming his rides, putting elastic bands on it when he's driving on Cali roads. What is he, out of his mind? Yep. Anyways. So I think I'm done with this live. 2.5 hours, that's good enough. Gonna get this thing put back together. I'm gonna have something to eat. I'm actually hungry. But what do we got here? We got Earl Moorhead, RC Boy, RC Steve, OG, Nitro RC. What's going on, guy? Yeah, just leaving, man. Lawn. Grateful Dabs, what you got to do is you got to tell them what your interior color is. Once you tell them what the interior color is and what the material is of the seats, you'll be good. Dude, some of the questions they ask. Does it got leather interior? No. Yeah. Alright, I think we're good. West Coast, what's going on, guy? Sorry I didn't see you, man. I get stuck in working on stuff. Yeah. Once I'm done with this live, dude, Chris, once I'm done with this, if you're still here, once I'm done with this live, I'm going to put the shocks, again, if they explode, don't blame me because I haven't tested them, but taking them apart, I liked what I saw. And these shocks should go on a variety of RCs. I am overall impressed with the visual appearance and or build quality of these shocks. And the price, holy no-brainer. Like I said, I still got more in my car. I should buy them all up before everybody else buys them. I'm telling you, dude. And they're on... I don't know how Prime Day works for people. I have Amazon Prime. I've been a Prime member since like 2012 or something like that. A Prime idiot. So, yeah, I pay the Prime stupid money every whatever year. But Yeah, I'll put the link in the description. It'll be on the first line of the description of this video. Will be the link to these shocks if you want to grab them up. And Christ, dude, even if you, I don't see these things giving this RC a problem at all. Like, I mean, they really looked like a marked upgrade over this thing. Dude, even the springs, dude, the springs, the flats on the springs. It's not just like a spring that's coiled and then they just said, yeah, screw it. They're filed, they're sanded, they're flattened so that they sit flat in the cups. It's just like, for the money, what? Wow, you can't go wrong. And they were all filled with oil, dude. Not completely. I did have to top them up. I topped them up with what? Maybe 4 to 5 drops of fluid to what I like them to be. I'm happy with what I found. And like I said, it took me 4 sets of different shocks to find what I wanted. But this shock is definitely the way to go. So, anyways, this is RC Guy Garage, and here was your rainy day repairs on the Losi TENACITY laser net. Whenever this thing came out. This one, the way it's set up is a good RC. I must have installed that gear because they wouldn't put that in there. I'm out. In crappy weather. I'm outside under a covered roof and porch and stuff, but I'm still in a t-shirt and shorts, dude. What's the temperature right now? I'm gonna tell you what the temperature is right now. It feels like it's let's give a guess. I'm gonna say it's feels like it's 58. I'm gonna say it's 58 degrees right now. Let's see if I'm right. This is my weather app. How do I find my weather? How about if I just ask Google? What's the temperature right now?
It's 69 degrees in Plymouth right now.
Oh my God. A whole 11 degrees. It don't feel that way, dude. What? I'm way off, dude. I was thinking 58 degrees, not 69 degrees. Wow. So it's 69 degrees. It's humidity is 97%. Maybe that's why, because it's like wet and it's like wind is blowing a little bit. And I'm just in a t-shirt and shorts, so it feels a little colder. Holy crap, dude, that was way off. 11 degrees off. We got a 5 mile per hour fairly consistent wind. That's about right. Air quality says it's good. And right now it's drizzling. It's more than drizzling. So, wow, that was way off, dude. Alright, anyways. I'm out of here. Thank you for coming to this live. If you haven't given a thumbs up, you know what to do. If you're not part of the channel, I suggest being part of this channel because there's no other channel like this one. So, when it comes to this, this kind of content, no other channel does it the way I do it. So, but thank you for coming, and I'm gonna end this live. All right, and right there, stop.